Blessings one and all. It is with great honor I stand here today among such a dedicated group of people. I want to express my gratitude to Grace Hill Bible University and the Victorious Living Foundation led by Dr. Nicole Francis Cotton. Dr. Francis Cotton is someone I deeply respect, not only for her hard work as a certified holistic health coach, but also for her unwavering commitment to improving lives. Guess what? VSR too is in the profession of improving lives. For this reason, we did not hesitate to collaborate with Victorious Living Foundation on this important initiative, in particular for this sensitive topic of suicide, that will be addressed from different perspectives. Suicide is a silent crisis that impacts individuals, families, entire communities. Suicide is on the rise in our community, with the most recent victim only 14 years old. As Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labor, it is my responsibility to help break that stigma. We must understand what brings someone to such despair and work together to provide hope and support. By raising awareness and having open conversations, we can save lives. With regard to the participants in this masterclass, based on conversations and their professional backgrounds, I can state with confidence the knowledge and commitment in this room have the power to change lives and strengthen our community. Your efforts are building a future where no one has to face their struggles alone. Let us remember that suicide prevention is a shared responsibility. It is something we all can contribute to as family members, friends, and community members. Together, with God's guidance, we can create a network of love, support, and understanding. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
I am Minerva P. Warner Hughes, a master's degree student at the Grace Hill Bible University, and I will be presenting today on substance use and abuse as it relates to suicide. The human spirit employs many coping mechanisms when in distress and attempts to find various means of release. One such mean is substance use, which could further lead to substance abuse. Substance use is a known risk factor for suicide attempts and death by suicide. Between 43 and 65 of suicide attempts and completion are estimated to involve substance use. The statistics here are for the United States, as local statistics are not yet available. Considering the increase of death by suicides in St. Martin, the lack of statistic is alarming. Let's have a closer look at the correlation between suicide ideation and substance abuse. Substance use and misuse is exceedingly common and has numerous implications, both individual and societal, impacting millions of people around the world, whether directly or indirectly, every year. We're going to look at alcohol. Alcohol influences suicidal thoughts, suicidal attempts, and death by suicide. The use of alcohol has been estimated to be present in 30 to 70% of those who attempt suicide and 80 to 66% of those who die by suicide. It is believed that alcohol intoxication leads to death from suicide, as intoxication increases impulsivity, aggression, and psychological distress and inhibits cognition, thus creating a mixture of circumstances in which suicidal thoughts are more likely to be acted upon and the cognitive ability to cope with adversity becomes limited. Studies have shown that intoxicated individuals and those who drink heavily are more likely to use one or more lethal means of suicide, such as firearms and hanging. Drug usage plays a prominent role in death from suicide. Among treatment-seeking individuals with any substance use diagnosis, 40% report a lifetime history of suicide attempts. According to the data from the 2010 National Violent Death Reporting System, opioids were found in 20% of the suicide descendants, marijuana in 4.6%, and amphetamines in 3 to 4%. The use of multiple drugs have been shown to be more predictive of death by suicide as opposed to the use of a specific drug or class of drugs. Individuals who attempt to die by suicide tend not to use their drug of choice in these acts. The implications of substance use and misuse. Substance use and misuse carry numerous potential repercussions. Societal substance use and misuse consequences exceed $4 billion in crime, health, and lost productivity. It has significantly impacted the occupational sector as well. Substance use and misuse have been correlated with both higher rates of absenteeism and workplace injuries. Those who engage in substance use and misuse often have a higher rate of unemployment, which can result in lack of access to treatment services, contributing to increased stress. Substance use and abuse also have a negative impact on intimate partners, such as increased responsibility and navigating unpredictability. It also correlates with the intimate partner's violence. Furthermore, substance use and misuse are a significant risk factor for suicidality. Finally, the numbers of U.S. adults with comorbid substance use disorder and mental illness is almost 8 million, with only about 5% receiving treatment for both. Concurrently, treating both is very complex, challenging, and expensive. This can be more problematic given the lack of healthcare access for a large number of Americans. This experience is no different here on St. Martin. Life may not turn out the way we would want it or anticipated, but substance use or abuse, although tempting, is never the solution. If we dare to look again, hope again, we will realize that life is worth living and we can try again. Because broken crayons can still color. My citation is taken from Liz H. Gold, MD, and Richard L. Fairson, MD, the American Psychiatric Association, publishing textbook of January 13, 2020, Suicide Risk, Assessment, and Management.
A pleasant good day to all you St. Martiners. The ministry, the cabinet of the Ministry of Versa wants to lead by example, and thus we came out with an initiative to do just so. So apart from team building, apart from camaraderie and just having a great time, we also want to show that we too can lead by example and having a fit day. And we want you to continue having a fit day because movement is important. All right, so we're dealing with mental health, we're dealing with spiritual health, and as well physical health. So it's a complete package. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. Today we are here as part of Team VSA, and today we are celebrating Sports Day with our ministry. And as part of Team Pomgrama, I'm very proud to be here. And in the fun activities that we have done so far, we have done a tremendous job, and I think everybody has enjoyed the Sports Day thus far.
All right, this is VSA's team building exercise, the first one for the year. It is our intention to continue being an example of team, of good exercise, health. So we're having lots of fun while we're playing games. We're really making sure that everybody could show their talent as it pertains to exercise. It's really, really nice.
So let me see your hands up in the air.
A healthy greeting, St. Martin. This is the Ministry of Public Health, Social Development and Labor. And today we are celebrating team building, team bonding, and having a healthy ministry. So we have our sports day today. Behind me, you can see the beautiful colors, all representing the healthy fruits. So we have the squash, we have pomegranates, we have bananas, we have cucumbers, and not forgetting our blueberries. We look forward to continuing building a healthy ministry as well as healthy team bonding.
What's going on, everyone? Dimala Bega from Monster Factory. I want to thank everybody from VSA for inviting me to participate and help them out with their ministry Sports Day. We had a great time, a lot of great team building activities. The physical competition is over. Now they're moving on to their mental aspect of the competition. Once again, thank you. Shout out to the Ministry of VSA.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social health insurances.
Mr. Romy, last 2 weeks ago you said in this press briefing that if construction developments negatively impact the residents, that you will take some harsh decisions. Last week, Monday, the residents from Koepkooi, they went to the Ombudsman and they have submitted a letter for you at the government building. Somehow later that day, the lawyer of the developers, is what he writes, he says that word has reached me today that your clients, he writes to the former, because there's no court case at the moment, the former lawyer of the residents, there was an injunction and there's a process verbal and agreement made, that they are trying to undermine the development by requesting the minister to take immediate action to halt the development. This lawyer of the developer is also your lawyer and is due in court on March 17, defending the Ministry of Romy in the appeals case against 2 building permits in Beacon Hill. He further says that the residents are pursuing avenues to undermine the development via the press and the minister. Your clients are clearly not, and then he says, your clients will be held liable for any and all damages, including reputational damages. I don't know how the lawyer can defend the government and the developer. But my question is, the former minister of Romy, he published on the 12th of February 2024 a permit for the parking lot. But the work is ongoing on 4 different lots. There's a certificate of measurements 034-1973, 073-1981, 123, 1971, and 161, 1978. There have been excavations. There's still a house that's not there anymore. They're now busy further excavating and leveling. Have there any permits been granted for those lots? And if so, when will they be published? And will the residents have the option to file objections? And also, was there a civil works permit granted for the clearing of the land, the excavation, the demolition of the home, putting septic tanks, building permit for the immigrant barracks that are now blocking the homeowners' houses, and the raising of the land in other areas with 2 meters?
Very insightful. I think one thing I will make clear, that if there is any semblance of conflict of interest between the legal persons, that being the government's lawyer and the developer, that will have to be looked into. I haven't received a letter as yet to that effect. Secondly, regarding what all substantiated permits were issued, I have to verify as well, because what I've seen is the permit indeed for the development, to which, from what I understood, a sort of green light was given with considerations as well for things like fire and ambulance services. So I will have to ask your indulgence to sort of go back again to check this, particularly because new information is coming out as we're going on this case. And I would like to also get some time to sort of also see what role the government's lawyer is playing in this, because I think it's very important to keep everything pretty much above board and kosher, as well as to the fact that if this is indeed the case, how has this played in to decisions taken regarding how we go forward? So with your indulgence, Jacqueline, I'd like to ask if we can hold this response, and if you could possibly forward me this question in its entirety in writing, and I will make sure we have a full and complete response for you for next week.
To have a clarification from the minister based on a question from my colleague before I called Minister of TIAT. Minister, when you were responding to my colleague, you spoke about Aruba trip and all that happened there. What I'd like for you to add to this is, how long ago, how many years ago, the lifespan of the landfill expired, and how many other trips, fact-finding missions, were conducted since before St. Martin became a country? How many, and how many more do we have to do before we can move forward with recycling and even green energy?
Thank you, Bibi. I think your question was the landfill, the lifespan of the dump. I have to verify information for you regarding how many trips have taken place. I think it's very important, and I mean, coming from Foreign Affairs, I've gotten this a lot, where people think that you're just traveling for the sake of traveling. And I think one of the critical things to take away is that a lot of great work goes into when you travel. It's not very, what people think, you just go on a plane, you spend, daily allowance. You're really getting a lot of information critical that's needed to make right decisions, because a lot of what we thought we could do was confirmed or denied in Aruba. And then secondly, I think what's also important to understand is that, we've been doing waste to energy studies, recycling studies for, I think, 20, 30 years. But until you actually implement what you went to go and do, every different year a new dynamic happens. So for example, off-that were equally important and very related. I have several drainage studies at my disposal in the ministry, dating from the early 90s. Half of those intervention spots are now homes, are now developments. So I have to make a new policy based on what's available to me. Technology changes, capacity changes. What was available 20 years in the landfill is no longer available. We now have an Irma dump as well that we have to consider as well as part of the discussions on how we actually extended the dump. So while I understand as well, lots of frustration around, ministers traveling without yielding results, rest assured, this is really for me time of implementation. Fact-finding missions are great when you have money. We don't have money, so when we have a fact-finding mission, you have to make sure you implement and you get the work done. So as soon as we came back from this trip, we hit the ground running. We already have a whole program in place, tentatively, on how we're going to structure the diversion and recycling efforts. because I think in the end of the day, the trust fund comes to an end relatively soon, and unless we have a very concrete example of what we've been doing for the last 10 plus years, it will be a failure. So for me, yes, I can take note of the fact that we're traveling a lot and so many studies exist, but rest assured that the work is not going in vain, and there will be a solution to the issues that we've been facing with the landfill now for, I think, more than my whole lifetime.
February 2018, on the resort island of Boracay in the Philippines, a filthy situation. Then President Rodrigo Duterte threatened to shut down the entire area due to water and sewage mismanagement, likening the island, once famous for its pristine waters, to a cesspool. According to international advocacy organization Global Citizens, the issue at that time was that Boracay became a major tourist hotspot, leading to rapid and, in some cases, unregulated development of the island. And with that development came a massive environmental problem. The following April, the island was shut down for 6 months to facilitate a major cleanup. Back home in downtown Kingston, a similar cleanup is needed.
This has always been a developed city. Now the issue is we have been layering a lot of activities on this infrastructure, and at this time the infrastructure, it seems, and remember they are the experts who are responsible for this, but if you speak with them, they would need to advise you, is the existing infrastructure able to handle any new and upgraded intake?
It's not, and the authorities aren't oblivious.
Yes, the systems are failing. I'm not going to pretty up the situation. The government is actively going through the project development phase for a full replacement of the sewage network in downtown Kingston.
Minister Matthew Samuda says ground will be broken for this over the next 12 months, but there's also a short-term plan.
The 3 areas of deep concern downtown, because it's all downtown Kingston. That area in front of Mobile Reserve, which extends into Sabina Park intersection with North Street, the area which tends to break close to KPH, and the area in front of Denham Town, are all getting remedial works in sequence over the next 3 to 4 months. But the entire line has to be done, and we expect over a 12-month period that will complete the contracting procurement process that allows us to then go through the entire sewage network of downtown Kingston.
Notably, the bill to fix the piping for a single broken line would be in excess of $1 billion. In part 1 of our report, acting corporate PR manager at the National Water Commission, Delano Williams, told us that the agency's yearly expenditure just isn't enough to cover the cost for a full system repair. For this upcoming fiscal year, $10 billion has been allocated to the NWC for a number of public investment projects. In any event, this amount still wouldn't suffice.
It's going to take a lot, tens of billions to treat with it, perhaps hundreds, to treat with what exists. You're talking about several kilometers with interlocking or intercrossing roadways.
So where will the funds for this complete sewer transformation come from? Prime Minister Andrew Holness is expected to make a big, detailed announcement on March 20.
When the Prime Minister speaks on March 20th in his budget, he will outline the full integrated sewage plan for Kingston and St. Andrew.
As for the town's development in the meantime,
so there's no need either from a water perspective or a sewage perspective to halt development.
And so, despite swimming in excreta, the development of downtown Kingston continues.
I am aware that there are significant plans for the development of downtown. And if I were to speak within my boundaries of JSIF, I know that we recently were a part of a loan between the government and the World Bank that is going to continue the development of the the waterfront and also the what I would call the attached areas, so in the business district. And what's included in that investment portfolio is dealing with necessary infrastructure.
Amoy Harriet, TVJ News.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social health insurances.
It's time for a new brand that is as bold, vibrant, and colorful as the island of St. Martin, with colors drawn from our diversity, cultural heritage, and nature. Our breathtaking beaches, waters, and sun, the majestic brown pelican, our national symbol, the radiant yellow sage, our national flower, the historic border monument signifying the Dutch and French sides, our exciting cruise, yachting, and boating ports, renowned Maho Beach and St. Martin Airport, the hub to the Caribbean. All these parts come together to create the shape of the island of St. Martin. More than a logo. It's a new brand that engages, excites, and will inspire travelers to book. It's time to tell the St. Martin story, to reintroduce travelers to St. Martin, to honor our past, to embrace our present, and shape our future. Our culture and diversity, Dutch and French sides, unrivaled cuisine, twice the nightlife, entertainment, and shopping, cruises, boating, and yachting, twice the adventure, exploration, and relaxation, splendid and scenic accommodations, Pinel, Tentamar, and island hopping in the Caribbean. Whatever your taste, St. Martin has more. Experience twice the Caribbean. St. Martin.
My name is Robert Miller, and I am an artist, designer, costume maker. Where I've been probably about 20 years. I was involved in Carnival quite some time, probably about 35, 40 years. Got involved with wire bending because of necessity, I have to say. By trial and error, right? And by observing different people doing wire bending, I got involved with it. Somebody come with me and they have an idea to play a costume, right? I will combine their idea with my knowledge of mass, show them the sketch, and then they approve it, and then I start to do production. If you are going to do wire bending and you have a little art skills, right, it helps you a lot because, all right, let's say I'm doing a man, right? I'll do a profile. I do it into sections, right? I think it into sections. So like the head, the torso, legs, each one of them is a different part that combine to make the complete costume. And then from there I start to blend it. So I do the actual face, right? And then I build on that to get them completed. So you have to have a little idea about structure and things, basic structure and design. You have to have a little maths too, because if you don't have the basics, you can't get anywhere.
Carnival, to me, had lost its where it came from, the wire work and the wire bending and the skills in wire bending. And as a result, I got involved to try and rejuvenate it, to try and keep it in Carnival. We no longer have it as much in Carnival. I've been playing King for 41 years. I've been in production for about 20 years. I've been reproducing Robert's work for more than 5 years. The most difficult part of being a King costume is fitness and finance. Because you need to be fit to carry them. You know, they're quite large, they're very, very large. They're very heavy. And you need to have money to finance them, to build them. The prize money don't compensate for the costume.
I and Roland more involved with the bigger structures and he do a lot of the welding.
It's very difficult to weld galvanized wire. So you need to practice and get the right film and right touch and the right look. It's very difficult to weld. It's easier to weld the steel wire. It's very difficult to weld the galvanized wire. That's why nobody else do it but us.
Trinidad Carnival, we do a lot of work, right? Because we have children bands, we do the bigger pieces for different bands, plus we do sections for them. And then we have a number of kings and queens. That's why we have to start very early. So it hardly have any rest. As soon as Carnival done, we take probably a week or two, and then we start again.
If you accept a job to do a king's costume and you only have 2 weeks, you get it done. But you can't take more than 1 or 2. Some mass camps import and assemble. We create and assemble. I keep doing it because of the love of Carnival. I keep going back there because of I was born into this culture. I love this culture. I've seen people create things. I've seen people use mud and create faces, and I've seen people knit beads and see people do all this handiwork and create something from nothing. Use grass and make skirts. It's all, you know, I want to rejuvenate that feeling. I love it. I just love it. You know, something about it that I can't keep it from. It's an addiction. And every year you have a different inspiration and a different reason to go and a different reason to create. So every year is an inspiration to me. Some win, some lose, some come second, some come third. But that's what I enjoy about the end result.
We had done the first wire bra that caused the confusion in Trinidad. We started to do wire bras, but we started to weld it instead of wrap it. From that, well, all bands do wire bras now.
Everybody makes wire bras, but we make it out of wire. Some people make it out of wire, steel wire. We make it out of galvanized wire. So it's flexible. You can adjust it and that sort of thing. Once somebody else make a wire bra for you, you can't even squeeze it. It's solid iron. And when he did the first one, it was a little controversy as the Catholic Church nearly. But it grew. Yeah. So wire bras, yeah. Wire benders can just stand and bend something out of the skies, you know, just their own imagination. He will use 25 pounds of wire in an hour, and you want to know where all the wire gone. You know what I mean? But it's because he's making things. I'm of the opinion that when he goes, that is the last of the very skilled wire benders. We have no more to come.
A costume must be part of the masquerade. It must tell a story. If it come around the road, you must ask, where's that you're playing? Right? Sometimes you see it coming around the road, you say, well, yes.